Now, the way I was brought up, jiu-jitsu is in some ways a lot less formal than other martial arts. I've certainly never run my academy as a Bowdy or Sensei type dojo or anything like that. That's the way that my instructor, Hal Gracie, kind of brought us up. Largely, everything's based on common sense and common courtesy. I'm assuming that we're adults here and we're training in here in this environment to have some fun and work and build out with each other, okay? Having said that, there's always one hard and fast rule that I've always explained to everybody that's come in and training, and I'll explain this to anybody before I allow them to train on it, okay? The one golden rule aside from common sense and common courtesy, one thing I'm gonna be crystal clear, okay? It has to do with submissions. Let me re-say this loud and clear. All submissions are designed to cause injury, okay? All submissions are designed to cause injury. They're not designed to cause tap outs, okay? The tap out is there to prevent that injury from happening, saying like, hey, uncle, I've had enough, please don't injure me, okay? I can put this a really horrible way. I'm an expert at jiu-jitsu. I'm an expert at submissions. Therefore, I am an expert at injuring people, okay? And I say this because I want to go ahead and talk about the seriousness of what we do right there. That in ways, we're playing with fire here. Like, I'll never say that you're 100% safe doing this. There's just levels of safety, okay? So I have one hard and fast rule for anybody that I train with or anybody that comes into my academies, okay? The one thing that I'm very clear on, okay? Any submission that you apply in training has to go with enough technique and control that your partner has the opportunity to tap out before they get injured. That's all I ask, okay? What I mean by that is, let's say that if we're training, okay, there's definitely different ways of getting injured accidentally, but if somebody gets injured in submission, one of two people had to be at fault on that. Number one, say you catch me in a lock, okay, and you're going ahead and you're remembering that rule, you're going with enough caution, you're giving me the technique and control, and you continue going through this lock and you apply pressure, you go ahead, twist, twist, and twist, and I'm not acknowledging that, I'm not tapping out, and my arm gets tweaked, that was my fault for not respecting the submission, okay? At some point, everybody's arm will get tweaked. There's always that injury point right there. If my injury point was here, I generally suggest tapping out before you get to that part, okay? Now, injuries are part of the game. I'll never say that we're 100% safe, and even when somebody gets injured in a submission in that scenario right there, I kind of consider that lesson learned, okay? You know, maybe you were pushing yourself, maybe you had a bit of a rivalry right there, maybe you were testing to see exactly what your limitations were. Now you know what your limitation is and you know not to cross that line again, okay? On the other hand, if somebody catches a submission, let's say I put somebody in submission and I crank it as hard and fast as I can without kind of care, without giving my opponent the opportunity to tap out, well, that would be a dick move right there, okay? And that's the one thing as a training partner or within my academies, I would not allow to happen in a training scenario right there, okay? Why? Well, when it comes down to it, we need to protect our training partners. Our most valuable resource, honestly, is the people we get to work with. You can't get any better at jiu-jitsu by yourself. And when I say that, you know, even like, you know, the lovely folks of you that are watching me right now through online or whatever situations, you need a partner to work with, somebody that knows how to work, and you need that give and take, and you need to protect those people to a certain extent, okay? You know, without training partners, you can't get any better. Like, you know, there is no in jiu-jitsu, I always tell this joke, is you can't find the secret scroll like in the old martial arts films. You can't go up to the mountains and practice in secret and then come down and slay the ninja clan and avenge your village or anything like that. It doesn't work that way, okay? At the very least, when you went up to the mountains that way, you had to have somebody to work with and understand timing and the physicality and whatnot in order to accomplish that, okay? So on a negative tip, if you don't have that, or if you don't care, if you're reckless, you wind up injuring all of your training partners, because you didn't follow that rule, well, guess what? You're not going to have anybody to train with, and your game's going to stagnate. You can't go any further that way. On the positive tip, though, jiu-jitsu is very much a community aspect right there. Because we're playing with dangerous things, there's a level of, you know, trust that builds up, if not respect. Okay, you know, in friendships and community gathering and whatnot on that. That's probably the best aspect, or one of my favorite personal aspects about jiu-jitsu is the community aspect of there. It's like, you know, I have that saying, iron sharpens iron. It's like we're playing with things right there, and there's some dangerous stuff, but we're doing that to elevate each other, okay? And there's a larger worldwide community on this too. I'm proud to say, You know, even as much as jiu-jitsu's grown, which is spectacular, any place that you go or in the world that has jiu-jitsu, and there's more and more of them these days, I consider that a home base. I consider that people that I understand, that will understand me. And I have a home wherever I go. Okay, that's one of my favorite aspects about jiu-jitsu on this. But we need to take care of each other on this. We need to take care of our training partners. That's the most precious resource we have, is the people on this.